seen one of these before? This is a Czech Hedgehog. Probably one of the few things the Czech invented. It's an anti-tank obstacle, or any other vehicles. This is one on the D-Day beaches. They're very useful in warfare and elsewhere to be able to stop vehicles from being able to move really quickly. It's based on the Caltron. Similarly, you have a whole bunch of these. You're seeing tons of these dragon's teeth, as they're called, in Ukraine right now. You might have seen pictures like this from World War II showing more dragon's teeth, but these were cemented in. With the full length of the Siegfried line. They're still out and about because these things, they're really hard to get rid of. It's very similar to the Toblerone line in Switzerland. Of course, nowadays, they're trying to add a whole bunch of these things, like I said, in Ukraine, but also through the Baltic defense line. They're trying to prevent mainly a blitzkrieg type of invasion into Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Because overall, these things don't actually stop anything. It doesn't take that much work to get a bulldozer to move them out of the way. However, they then have to get a bulldozer to move them out of the way. So it does help a little bit. Now, it's not going to be as helpful as something cemented into the ground, like the ones from World War II. Those were also not that hard to get rid of. They would just blow them up. Or if they did have a bulldozer, they would dump a bunch of dirt on top of it and then they could just drive right over them. These will tumble underneath a vehicle and will stop them. Similar to a Czech Hedgehog, which can also be helpful if there's somebody who's dumb enough to try and drive a truck right into it. The good thing about both these and these is that they're really easy to make, they're really cheap, and they're really easy to deploy. Whether it's using these like steel beams or these that are cement, it's very inexpensive material. Almost anybody can work these things. You can make them yourself. With not that many people and with not that much equipment, you can actually put out a ton of these things. Now, they're not infallible by any means. I mean, we saw how well these worked on the D-Day beaches, not really all that well, but you do have to move them before you can get vehicles in. So it does take longer, and if you have somebody defending against it, that does slow down their ability to do a really quick push like a blitzkrieg. That in the case of the Baltics, you hope that they can push off the Russians in case there was an invasion long enough for the rest of the NATO allies to get involved and prevent a full-on takeover.